There's a serious and significant conflict going on in the world right now. You may not be aware of that. It's a type of war that doesn't involve military force or guns like Russia and Ukraine. The two big countries involved in this significant conflict is USA and China. They are two of the most important economies in the world. What are they fighting for, and what consequences can it have on me and you? If you're watching this video, know that this conflict is going to impact you. It's a material that has become so important, is as important as oil has been in the world economy, and that material is microchips. Well, the US and China are fighting over microchips. Which microchips, bro? Is it not these chips, but these chips? You might not know how important chips are, but let me give you a bigger picture of what's going on here. Microchips are found in almost every silicon devices that you hold in your hand or that you possess. That is your computer, your phone, your fridge, your headset, your earphones, your camera, your virtual reality sets, and so on. Even your mics. All these devices that are made of silicon, they have microchips. Chips, sometimes called semiconductors, are materials that conduct electricity, and the devices that possess it display a number of useful properties. These properties are having variable resistance, passing current easily, and reacting to light and heat. However, the most important applications of these chip equipped devices are to amplify signals and convert energy. And these small microchips that you see are easily important in almost all industries in the world, whether in music, in gaming, in video film production, software engineering, in almost any industry you can think of. Right now you're watching this video through a phone or a computer or even a tablet or even on a TV screen, and that is made up of silicon. And that's also thanks to the internet that has been so well improved from years to years thanks to these microchips. So you get an idea on how important these microchips are in the global economy. The US and China, they're having a conflict over it. As I said at the beginning of this video, it's not a military conflict where you see a bunch of soldiers wearing on their uniform carrying some advanced weapons or guns for massive destruction. No, far from that. Actually, it's a war or conflict that involves policymakers. Policymakers are those sitting in the office, signing papers, signing deals, making rules on who is authorized to sell or buy products in the country. So that's the kind of war that's going on here. Now, the company responsible for the production of the world's most advanced chips in the world is TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Over 92% of the world's most advanced chips are being produced there. So we have Taiwan, the country that produces the most advanced chips in the world. The US found that manufacturing and producing microchips is more expensive and it's more costly. The cost of production is expensive in the US. Meanwhile, the production of microchips in Taiwan is more cheaper. Taiwan can produce the most advanced chips, yeah, but they don't have the softwares and the hardwares. All they are good at is just making microchips. That's all they are good at. So the US decides to make a deal with Taiwan, a deal in which the US produces the electronic devices, all the softwares, all the hardwares, and they send this to Taiwan, and Taiwan produces the microchip. That's in fact the deal. That's how the deal goes. So Taiwan produces microchips for the US, and in return the US offer Taiwan protection because Taiwan has been having some kind of beef with China. China has been trying to reunite with Taiwan because China believes Taiwan is part of its country, and the US has been one protecting Taiwan. If not, I think by now China would have already invaded Taiwan. But thanks to the US, Taiwan has been protected up to now. But more on that later. So Taiwan manufactures chips for the USA, and the USA uses it to produce the biggest technology electronic devices that we have out here. And now this is when China comes into play. China is also interested into high-tech, big technology. China wants its technology market to increase, to enlarge, because China is one of the most popular countries in the world. and one of the fast growing economies in the world too. And you can't sustain that kind of growth China has had without being interested into high technology. So this past year, China has been buying advanced technologies and softwares from the US. But something happened recently, like some month ago. The USA received an information that China is using the softwares, the technologies they've been buying from the USA to improve their military weapons and forces. Like China bought the most advanced technology tools to produce advanced military weapons, and the USA doesn't like that. So China has been a giant customer for the US technology products. About 40% of their wholesales of USA wholesales were coming from China. But this technology China is buying from the US is used for military purpose, to improve their military forces and their military weapons. When the US learns that, they wonder, how is it that China uses our own technology to make weapons that are far better than ours? And that's how it came to, we gotta stop everything. We have to cut them off. We have to stop China from buying products from the USA. So even though the USA was at the top of the supply chain, no matter how expensive the tech was, China was always ready to buy. So they went to buy, and secretly they were making their own advanced weapons, advanced devices, advanced stuffs. Upon learning what China is doing with all the technologies they've been getting from the US, the US president decides to ban China from exporting microchips or any type of related technology. So China has been cut off by the means of increased taxes or total banning. This is still a problem for the USA because most of the high-tech companies in the USA had for customer China. So it means if China is no more buying from them, they get broke. Nvidia has made huge losses since the USA has banned China from exporting high technology resources from the US. And Nvidia is not alone. There are a lot of companies that are not allowed to sell their products to China anymore. Now there's a big problem right here, and this is directly related to Taiwan. China has always been willing to get Taiwan because they believe Taiwan is part of the country, so they want to invade Taiwan and make it their territory. But the US doesn't want that because one of the biggest microchips producer in the world is found in Taiwan. Taiwan is like an industry branch of the US. So if China is able to put their hands on Taiwan, it means the US have no means of getting their microchips anymore. And that's what is a big problem. So Taiwan is caught in between two powerful countries right now. But Taiwan can't rely on US for long for protection because recently the US has taken the step of producing their own microchips. At this point, the USA doesn't want to be totally reliant on another country because this is creating more problems for the USA. Now they find themselves obliged to go and protect Taiwan because one of their biggest economic resources found in Taiwan. So they can't let China invade Taiwan right now. And China has been making threats, even though China can't just go and invade Taiwan just like that because the US is still the US. You can't just go and attack recklessly just like that. So that's what is going on right now. I think Taiwan don't know what to do. I think they don't know what to do. Found in between the two gigantic power in the world, I wouldn't want to be at their place because if the US succeeds to make their own microchips, that's a big problem for Taiwan. That's a real big problem for Taiwan because the US won't have to take care of Taiwan anymore, and China will be able to invade Taiwan and make them their own. But if the USA decides to take this option, it means they'll have to produce very, very advanced microchips because if China takes possession of Taiwan, Taiwan is going to be part of China, and then they'll have those resources to produce microchips that Taiwan were already producing before China invaded Taiwan. So the US will have to make far better microchips, and I don't think the US will be able to do it in so small time. So for now, I think the USA will try to gain some time. Taiwan will keep producing microchips for the USA. The USA will still be dependent on Taiwan on that side, but I think on the side the USA is trying to produce their own microchips. But the fact that they have cut China off, they're going to make some huge losses in their high-tech markets. So how are these stuffs going to impact you and me? It depends on where you're found. If you're found in the US, some things might become cheaper for you. If you are in China, just like I am, you might find some things more expensive because the import of high-tech resources, high-tech stuffs have become more expensive or even impossible for some products. The consequence it will have on you will depend on the relationship the country of residence has with China or the USA. So for our own good, we just hope these countries will come to an understanding and that things will keep flowing the way they've been flowing. It's surely not talked enough about like the other war of Russia against Ukraine because of what I just stated. It's more policymakers, people in their office taking decisions, and that makes less of noise than guns and weapons and victims, the number of deaths that you can hear in the news. Microchips have become one of the most important resources in the world, and their importance is just going up and up and up and up. At this point, it's even considered more important than oil was at a certain time in our history. The way technology is improving at the fast rate is mostly because of the microchips that are made more and more powerful all over the years. That's why today we see how artificial intelligence is getting more and more advanced, something that we wouldn't have thought of in the past years. And now that we are in the AI revolution, if you want to know 5 successful ways in which you can survive this AI revolution, 5 ways in which you can protect yourself and survive and actually succeed in this AI revolution, make sure you check this video right here below. Now let's talk about the first ever giveaway on this channel. This community is small enough for you to be among the winners. I'm giving away my services. There are 2 categories. The first category is 5 edited videos of less than 5 minutes, and the second is 10 illustrations or portrait drawings. If you want an edited video of more than 5 minutes, I'll drop my Fiverr link below so you can purchase one of my gigs and I'll actually make sure that you get a discount. Note that you can't participate in both of the categories. You have to choose whether you're going for the free illustration or portrait drawings, or if you're going for the video editing. This is to give the chance to 15 different people to actually win, and the selection will be made live here on Breezy Talks Everything YouTube channel. 5th of March, don't forget. Now to participate and actually stand a chance to be part of the 15 winners, there's a link in the description below for the steps to follow. It's completely free, so don't worry. I hope you all participate. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe for more content like this. I'll catch you next week. As always, take care. Peace.